What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and as all of you all already know by now, Carlee Russell's parents spoke out this morning, and they doubled down on the claims that Carlee Russell was abducted. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people accuse her parents of lying. I do not think for one moment that Carlee Russell's parents are lying. Sure, maybe the details surrounding Carlee Russell's story may not be true, but I believe that Carlee Russell's parents believe the story, and I believe that they are doing what any good parents would do, which is they are sticking by their daughter, as they should. I don't think that they're lying. I don't think that they're knowingly spreading misinformation. I believe that they're standing by their daughter and that they honestly believe that something happened to Carlee Russell. I am also seeing a lot of people say that this was a hoax or a scam. And listen, I am questioning the details surrounding this case just as much, if not more, than anyone else. And I can tell you, I'm not necessarily buying this story, but I don't think it's necessarily what you would label a scam or a hoax. I mean, when we say that it's a hoax, I think a lot of people just mean that it's fake. But, you know, when you say a hoax, some people would believe that that means that this was done to just trick everyone. I don't think it's necessarily something like that. For one, I don't think that this was about money. I know money was raised, I know that, but I don't think that Carlee Russell's family was scamming for money, and I don't think that Carlee Russell was necessarily trying to scam for money. And when I say that it's not technically a hoax, or I don't think that it's technically a hoax, I don't think that this was just a big prank that everyone decided to pull, like, you know, an episode of Punk'd. Hey, we're going to punk the world. We're going to trick the world into thinking Carlee Russell got kidnapped. I don't think it's anything like that either. Either the story is true and something happened to Carlee, or something else obviously went down. And, you know, I've gone down the path of thinking that this may be a mental health episode, and it very well still could have been. But when I really think about the details, it's hard for me to kind of believe that someone that's having a mental health episode would be able to, like, evade law enforcement and the public search teams that are scouring the area. You would think that someone having a mental health episode, you know, I don't think, and the fact that she was on foot, I don't think she would have gotten too far. Law enforcement was there in 3 minutes, so you never know. But there's just a lot of details here, like the items left behind that could be tracked. There's just certain details here that make me believe that this is, or possibly was, a little more thought out than something that someone that's just suddenly having a mental health episode would do. I personally think that either something happened to Carlee, because regardless of what we think right now, and I think that I'm thinking like a lot of you all are thinking, we don't know for a concrete fact. We don't know for a 100% fact what happened here. Yeah, it doesn't look like the story's true, but we don't know that. What I'm saying is, what I believe, this is my opinion, if the story is not true, keep in mind, we don't know, but if the story is not true, I don't think this was about money. I don't think that this is just, you know, a big gotcha, you know, like an episode of Punk'd or something like that. I think that this was something emotional. Not necessarily mental, like a mental health episode, but something emotional. I don't know if she maybe felt neglected. I don't know if she felt like she didn't have enough attention from someone. Maybe she felt like people didn't love her enough. Maybe she wanted to see if people would care. Maybe she's got something going on in her relationship with someone. Maybe something going on with her boyfriend. Maybe she simply wanted to disappear for a couple of days for whatever reason. Maybe just life was weighing down on her or something like that. In my honest opinion, if Carlee Russell was not kidnapped. I just fully believe that it was something more emotional, maybe even something kind of stupid when the actual truth comes out. You know, something like, why, come on, why did you have to do that? I think it's more of something along those lines, but I could be wrong. What I do know is that the general public are no longer the only ones questioning this story. The mainstream media is starting to question this story as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and roll this news clip. While you watch it, go ahead and drop some comments. Let me know how you feel about everything I said so far. Hit the thumbs up button, and then after the clip, I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Over the weekend, the nation riveted by the story of a 25-year-old Alabama woman who went missing after apparently pulling over after she spotted a child on the side of the highway. Her car, belongings found there as well. Now, thankfully, Carlee Russell is home safe. But the details or lack thereof surrounding her disappearance 2 days after she walked into her home are bizarre. How do we not even know for certain if she was kidnapped? Is there still a threat out there? If she was lured, as her family believed, shouldn't the public know that? Here's what we do know. According to police, last Thursday, Carlee left around 8:20, Birmingham, Alabama, stopped to pick up food for her and her mom at a nearby restaurant, then headed to Hoover, Alabama, about a 10-minute drive. At around 9:30 p.m., called 911 to report the missing toddler wandering on the side of Interstate 459. She then called her sister-in-law, who listened as Carlee got out of the car and called to the child. That's when, according to Carlee's parents, something happened.
She did hear a scream, and then she could tell there was maybe some type of shuffling, and the phone dropped to the ground. And from there, all she could hear was background noise.
Police say they arrived at Carlee's car minutes later. No sign of the child or her. The driver's door was open, engine still running. On the ground, just her belongings, including purse, keys. Her cell phone was found in a nearby spot. There's even surveillance video showing Carlee's car driving on the shoulder of the interstate in a red Mercedes with the flashers on. You can see there and other cars on the road, but police say she was the only one to report seeing a child. There were no reports of a missing child. We also heard there was a witness who saw a light-skinned man standing near Carlee's car. Police putting out a statement saying, in part, at this point in the investigation, we've not been able to locate anyone with Carlee from the time she left the colonnade until the 911 call was made. Hundreds of law enforcement volunteers as well launched a massive 2-day search. But then she showed up at home Saturday night, seemingly okay. Her parents, who asked for the public's help in the search, now asking for privacy. And the police not providing almost any detail. Detectives, they say, are combing through numerous pieces of evidence collected from the time she went missing until her return home and beyond. This is a tedious process, but it's important to make sure everything is methodically evaluated so that we have the clearest possible picture of what took place from the time Carlee called 911 until she returned home Saturday night. Look, I totally get the need, desire for privacy on any details, but not even sharing if she was kidnapped, lured, even if she was a victim of a crime at all. After all, the public went to great lengths to try to help find her. A man claiming to be her boyfriend says she was kidnapped. Thamar Simmons writing on Facebook Sunday she was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours, so until she's physically and mentally stable again, she's not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper at this very moment. Okay, if that's true, police can just say they're looking for the kidnapper. But they aren't even saying that. How is it possible she came back on Saturday, and now more than 2 days later, we still don't know in the broadest terms what happened? Is there a manhunt underway? Is there still a threat to the public? We're all thrilled that Carlee Russell is home safe, but the public is owed more information here. Is there more to the story? Joining me now, David Lamb, senior reporter at our affiliate in Birmingham, Alabama, who's been covering this story. David, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Isn't this all kind of odd?
Extremely odd. Well, part of the oddest aspect of this, Dan, is the silence. The family was very vocal when Carlee was missing, very much in the community. The Hoover Police Department, same thing, really out there, had officers everywhere. But since that news came on Saturday night about 10:45 Central Time, Carlee knocked on her front door and returned home. there's been little said and little actually known and kind of broadcast about how she is, what happened, any sort of details, and it is puzzling and odd. I guess at this point you can almost make more out of what is not being said than what is, and forced to do so at that.
Well, I want you to listen to the sound of an MSNBC report tonight, which to me made the story even more bizarre. Let's listen.
When I spoke with Carlee Russell's parents, one of the things they mentioned was that they had warned their daughter about situations like this, saying that no matter how young a person who may seem in danger may appear, that it could be a trap and it could be someone using that in order to do something nefarious. And so when they heard that this has happened, literally the thing they said was, we had warned her about this. So certainly some concern there, at least from the parents, that this could have been some sort of trap.
That, to me, is totally bizarre, right? The idea that the parents warned her that there could be a trap where someone lures her with a child, and then it happened, doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't, and there are a number of aspects about this that really don't make sense. But if you try to connect some dots, you asked about the public being in danger, an imminent threat. The Hoover Police Department is in no hurry to conduct this follow-up interview with Carlee Russell. That leads me to believe if there were an imminent threat, law enforcement would be letting us know. So they're in no hurry to do so. They say in the next couple of days they hope that will take place.
Okay, now I really found that little snippet kind of interesting. You know, the part where the family says that they literally warned Carlee almost specifically about something like this happening to her. You know, I wonder if, you know, them warning Carlee about something like this placed that thought in Carlee's mind, and then later on she decided to use that same thing that her family warned her against as, you know, maybe she tried to use that in her story about how she got kidnapped, when in reality, maybe she didn't. I do find it kind of weird. I mean, that does not mean that nothing happened to Carlee, but that is interesting because it's almost as if maybe Carlee was trying to play into these fears that her parents already had. I don't know about the relationship between Carlee and her parents or the relationship between Carlee and anyone else. But as I was saying before this clip about how I think this is something to do with emotions as opposed to mental health, and that if this is not true that she got abducted, then I think that this was something emotional, like she was trying to get an emotional response out of someone or out of multiple people. I think that this, you know, makes it look like that possibly may be the situation here. But once again, none of us know. But at the very least, don't think that you're crazy for questioning the details, because the reality is everyone is. And the reason a lot of people are being so defensive is because in their minds, they're questioning the details as well. And they kind of hate that they have to do that. They don't want to, you know, think that maybe this is all just not true. If, I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm trying to be as nice as possible, but, you know, I'm also trying to be honest. I don't want to sit here and lie about my feelings. So, yeah, it is what it is at this point. We're going to keep watching. We're going to keep waiting on, you know, more updates. I think at this point that now that the family has spoken out and they've doubled down on this talk of abductors, I really think that the public in Hoover, Alabama are going to put pressure on law enforcement to make a statement here, because the people need to know, is there someone out there on the loose or not? But right now, I want you to let loose in my comment section. Drop your opinions down below, hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll be talking to you all soon in the next video.